There it is, carved into the Black Hills of South Dakota, 4 immense faces: Washington, Jefferson, Roosevelt, Lincoln. They're titans of American history, 60 feet tall, gazing out with stoic dignity. Millions visit every year, standing in awe at the Grand View Terrace, marveling at the scale and ambition. Mount Rushmore is an icon, a symbol so deeply embedded in the American psyche it feels eternal. We hear stories of the dangerous work, the vision, and the 14 years of labor that created this shrine of democracy. The experience is humbling. You feel the weight of history in those unblinking eyes. But what if I told you the most incredible part of Mount Rushmore is something you can't see at all? Hidden behind Lincoln's gaze lies a secret. A chamber meant not for us, but for a distant future. It's a mystery carved into the heart of the mountain, a time capsule waiting to be discovered. Suddenly, Mount Rushmore isn't just a sculpture, it's a vessel holding a deeper purpose. The real adventure is understanding the secrets the mountain holds within. Let's go beyond the trail. Behind Lincoln's hairline, beyond any public trail, is the entrance to a tunnel, the Hall of Records. It's real, not a Hollywood myth. An unfinished chamber, the most mysterious part of Gutzon Borglum's vision. For decades, this 70-foot tunnel has sat empty, a hollow echo of a dream cut short. Imagine standing at that entrance, wind funneling into darkness, the air cool and still. The rough walls bear the scars of 1930s workers, meant to lead to a grand chamber, a repository for America's story. Borglum feared that, without context, future civilizations might misinterpret the faces as gods or kings. The hall was his answer, a safeguard against the erosion of memory. While millions gaze at Lincoln, few know they're looking at the guardian of a hidden vault. The chamber is off limits, unmarked, a silent testament to its creator's foresight. It's a secret in plain sight, requiring us to look through the mountain to grasp its true legacy. The real story of Mount Rushmore is hidden within. To understand the Hall of Records, you have to understand Gutzon Borglum, a sculptor, showman, and visionary. When he began Mount Rushmore in 1927, he wasn't just carving faces. He was creating a shrine of democracy to speak across ages. Inspired by ancient wonders, Borglum wanted to capture the essence of the United States, its birth, growth, and preservation. But how do you ensure the meaning behind the faces isn't lost to time? His first idea, a massive inscription, a 500-word history of the U.S. carved into the mountain. But the granite was too unstable, the letters would flake away. It was a major setback. His method for explaining the monument to the future had failed. For Borglum, a setback was just a chance to think bigger. He abandoned the inscription and turned his sights inward, into the mountain itself. The Hall of Records would be his answer, a legend for future humanity. Borglum's vision was always evolving, always reaching for something greater. The story was no longer just on the surface, it would be hidden deep within. Unable to inscribe history on the mountain, Borglum conceived the Hall of Records, a time capsule sealed inside the granite. He envisioned a grand chamber with a soaring ceiling, bronze and glass cabinets, and aluminum scrolls chronicling human achievement, busts of great Americans, a massive bronze eagle, and the nation's founding documents would be enshrined within. At its heart, the Declaration of Independence, Constitution, Bill of Rights, and a detailed history of the United States. Borglum wanted to ensure that even if our language and civilization vanished, future explorers could understand the ideals these faces represented. The hall was his insurance policy for humanity, a message in a bottle cast into the ocean of time. It was about preserving not just America's story, but the very idea of liberty and self-governance. Borglum's vision was both optimistic and cautious, celebrating triumph while preparing for a forgotten future. The Hall of Records was to be his ultimate legacy. In 1938, Borglum's crews began blasting into the granite behind the presidents, carving a 70-foot tunnel. The work was slow and dangerous, plagued by funding struggles during the Great Depression. The Federal Commission wanted the faces finished, not Borglum's costly side project. In 1939, with war looming, Congress ordered all work focused on the faces. The Hall of Records was put on hold. Borglum was furious but had no choice. He hoped to return to his dream later. Tragically, he died in 1941 before he could finish. His son, Lincoln Borglum, took over, but lacked his father's influence. The dream of the hall faded. The focus shifted to completing the monument. 7 months after Borglum's death, work ceased, and the tunnel was sealed. A rough-hewn passage, all that remains of the grand chamber. The Hall of Records became a forgotten dream, hidden within the mountain. For over 50 years, the Hall of Records was little more than a footnote, an empty tunnel, a ghost of an idea. But good ideas rarely die. In the 1990s, the Borglum family and the Mount Rushmore Society revived part of the dream. Completing the Grand Hall was impossible, but they could still honor Borglum's intent. They created a modern time capsule, 16 porcelain enamel panels, inscribed with the Declaration of Independence, Constitution, Bill of Rights, and the story of Mount Rushmore. On August 9, 1998, the panels were sealed in a teakwood box, placed in a titanium vault, and buried at the tunnel's entrance. Covered by a massive granite capstone, the vault now waits, protected from the elements. It's not the grand chamber Borglum imagined, but his wish was granted, a message to the future, safely stored inside the mountain. The Hall of Records is no longer just a dream, it's a reality, quietly waiting to be discovered. The story of Mount Rushmore now has a hidden chapter, preserved for generations yet to come. Borglum's legacy endures, sealed in stone. Hollywood turned the Hall of Records into a treasure-filled chamber inn, but reality is even more compelling. The real hall contains no gold or secret diaries, just knowledge. Inside that titanium vault is the story of a nation's ideals, struggles, and triumphs. The true treasure isn't material wealth, but the words of the Constitution and the meaning behind the monument. Borglum's vision was to safeguard the intellectual treasures of a civilization. The vault is a how-to guide for democracy, explaining why these four men were chosen and what they represent. It's a greeting to an unknown future, bridging an unimaginable gap in time. The real mystery is who will one day find it, archaeologists, or perhaps beings from a distant future. The story is about legacy, not riches, a patient act of preservation. The Hollywood version is fun, but the reality is a testament to our desire to be remembered and understood. The treasure is the story itself, sealed for the ages. Think of the sealed chamber behind Lincoln. It's a place of quiet significance, transforming the monument from a memorial to a beacon for the future. The Hall of Records is a lesson in how we preserve history. It requires foresight and intention. We choose what to save, what stories to carve into stone or seal in vaults. The time capsule holds what 20th century Americans thought was most important to tell the future. It raises a question. If we created a time capsule today, what would we include? What message would we send to the year 5000? The hall is more than a hidden room. It's an invitation to consider our own legacy. Borglum wanted his work and ideals to be understood across millennia. The granite capstone is both a period and a question mark for the future. The story is sealed, the vault is waiting, and the mountain keeps its secret.